everyone. It's your girl, Millie Mills, and this is Bring It in the House. This is a podcast show where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. And of course, we have some beautiful leaders in the house from the Austin, Texas area. Let's give it up for Diana Lindsay and Tom Qatar. I always mess up your last name.
It's all right. It's all right. Thank you.
Tom Qatar from Backpack Friends out of Pflugerville, which is a suburb of Austin, Texas.
Yeah, all right.
Congratulations, guys, on all your success. Thank you so much for stopping by to, take a few minutes to talk with us. Now, Tom, you are originally from, I think you told me Baytown, Texas, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we always like to we like to give a shout out to your hometown, before we start anything. And
That's
Diana,
you're
from Georgetown I would count as hometown, but the story that I had to tell you is that my first 12 years, my dad was trying to figure out what he wanted to do when he grew up. So I literally lived in 12 years in 12 different houses in 8 different towns. But we ended up in Georgetown. So Georgetown Eagles. Yeah.
All right. Woo, woo, woo. So we got Georgetown Eagles and Baytown. What was your mascot or your?
Sterling Rangers.
Rangers.
Sterling Rangers. That's right. Class of 85, baby.
Class of 85. Yay. Okay, I'm class of 83. Okay. Right. So we're right there in the neck of the woods. So I met you guys just last year, December 7th. Of 2022, and it was at your amazing Backpack Friends, where we were helping you guys. I was at Office Depot helping you pack all the backpacks for the kids who need meals or in the area. So I'm going to give it to you, Tom. I'm going to toss it to you. I'm going to let you tell them all about Backpack Friends, Austin.
Yeah. So we had divided some things up. And so what you guys, we were so excited to have you there. And you guys did 1,650 lunch bags, backpacks that day. It was so amazing. In fact, that's one of our biggest groups. But 1 out of 4 kids in Texas are hungry on the weekends. And so that food insecurity and weekend food hunger is what we at Backpack Friends work to alleviate. So we normally pack about 1,200 bags a week, at these packing parties. And so if you think about these packing parties, Tom likes to say it's where Beyonce and Costco have a baby and throw a party. We jack up the music, put on Tom Cotter playlist, and everybody comes in strangers and leaves best friends. And so a lot of times it's people that don't know each other. But then we have groups like you guys where it's a corporate group. And so Office Depot brought, about 60 people that day, I think, Millie, right? It was amazing. Yes. Packed 1,650 bags, one of our largest. And we love y'all's partnership. It's so incredible. Yeah. But the best part was getting to meet you. So
I know it was so fun meeting you guys. And I've never seen so much great energy and dedication and drive. I mean, you guys are so organized. And I said, you know what? I want to spotlight them on my podcast show because more people need to know about the great things that you're doing. And I understand, Tom, you and your lovely wife started this organization around 2014, right?
Yeah. So my wife's name is Heather. We've been married 30 years. In 2014, there was a little girl at one school in Pflugerville who passed out one Monday morning, actually in her English class, because she didn't have food to eat over the weekend. So our school lunches and school meals are so important, right?
Yes.
So she hadn't had anything to eat. She was a couch surfer. And in the school system, that's usually use the term unaccompanied youth. So she would bounce from, a friend's house to grandma's house, to another friend's house, to an aunt's house, to, wherever. She goes to school. She passes out that morning. Because I was, at the time, I was on staff at a church doing worship and family events and that kind of thing, community things. I get called into a meeting. And so Heather and I decided out of the, 11,000 kids in Pflugerville ISD that didn't have food on the weekends, we would start feeding 12. So we started feeding 12 kids and thought, how hard could that be? I mean, it's just 12. We can do that. And so we kind of took off for that. And it's a great story. Well, I'm sure we'll get to it a little bit. But in 2018, I roped Diana into it. And as of this, in fact, after we met you, we packed our 100,000th backpack of food from those original 12 to 100,000. So it has been like drinking from a fire hose.
100%.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
100,000?
Yeah, so we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. But
I was about to say, and you're just getting started.
that's right. I'm just warming up.
Yes. So and so then you're going to tell me how Diana got in and became a part of the organization.
Yeah, so it's one of my favorite stories, man, to be honest, Millie. So I should have brought some props. My background is in music. Okay, I'm a guitar player, bands and leading worship and gigs and all those kinds of things. And we start feeding these 12 kids and it grows, right? It grows from 12 to 20 to 60. And by the fourth year, we're feeding about 87 kids on 4 different campuses. And Heather and I are talking and we're like, we really are feeling called to do this. This is a significant kind of thing. So how do we do it? Number one, I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to, I want us to grow and do this to scale, and I don't want to get burned out. So how do I do those things? So I get a phone call. I get a text. It's so funny. I get a text from a lady on a Friday afternoon, okay, May the 25th, who says, I see on Facebook how you guys are feeding these kids, and my husband, I want to give you a gift. We just want to say thank you for what you're doing in the community. Can you meet me at the Target parking lot in Stonehill in Pflugerville? I'm like, sure. So I ride over there. I want your audience to know I don't usually meet strange women at the Target parking lot. That's not my MO. But a friend of a friend. So I go over there and as she's getting out of the minivan, excuse me, true story. She's getting out of the car and has this envelope. And before she hands me this envelope, her little girl, one of her girls, reaches from the back seat to the front seat and grabs 4 quarters out of the cup holder right there in the console, puts in the envelope. She hands it to me. I open it up and there are 8 $100 bills and then 4 quarters in the envelope that the little girl stuck in there, which is super sweet. I hug her neck. I tell her thank you. And what she says is, this is not to buy food. This is just for y'all. I want y'all to go do something, celebrate. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go get a new guitar. Like I've got 17 guitars at home. I need one more. And my wife is thinking she wants to go to Fredericksburg. Let's go get away for the weekend, right? Let's go on a little romantic getaway. Let's go spend some time together. So I take it home and I put it in the safe that Friday evening. Saturday morning, I get up and I go to the mailbox, same kind of thing. And there's a thank you card in the mail from a lady who was a friend of my mom's before she passed, who is a retired school teacher, same kind of thing. Her name's Sylvia. And she said, here's a check for $30, put it to the cause. I'm watching on Facebook, social media, what you guys are doing, and I love it. So I have $831. So that was on Saturday. So Millie, on Tuesday, I call a buddy of mine in Houston who's a CPA, and I tell him, this is what we're doing. We're feeding kids. I don't want to mess it up. And what Floyd tells me is we can do all of that. We can set you up with the IRS. We can get you squared away with your EIN number, your LLC, all those things. We do that in-house, and our fee is $830. Like, you are kidding me. So this is what we're doing. Like, that's a sign. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So we get busy. We do the paperwork, we do all those things. Y'all, 2 weeks later, I wake up in the middle of the night in a panic about 2 a.m. because I realized I had registered Backpack Friends with the IRS federally, but I didn't check the state of Texas to see if that name was available. And someone else could have already been using that name. Yeah. So I was in a panic. So I get up and I run to the computer. I look it up, the Texas Comptroller website. It's available. It's free to do the search. It's like a $40 fee, to reserve that name or something, right? So put in my credit card. I go back to bed. I wake up Sunday morning, and I'm getting ready for sound check and going to go meet Diana and get everything set up and ready. Check my email on my phone. Because we're a nonprofit, the state of Texas charged us $1, which took the 4 quarters that were left in that envelope to the penny. So I come racing into sound check and grab Diana, and I'm like, "You're not going to believe this." So that was how I got Diana involved. So I grabbed a hold of her and said, "Hey, I got to tell you a story." So
yeah, it was incredible. I mean, I had really just about 6 months that we'd been at that church, and I'd been singing with Tom, doing worship together, and we were already started sharing God stories. And when he told me this story, it's when it really got my attention, and I realized I don't want to miss this. So I told him that day, "Hey, I want to get involved." But I wasn't sure how. So the next day, just a little background, Millie, I've been in business globally and as well as right here locally in Central Texas for about 20 years. And I was the ambassador chair. And so that next day, our ambassador meeting was that day for the Round Rock Chamber. And so in that meeting, one of the girls back there said, announced a new thing called Hunger Games. And it's like God whispered in my ear to introduce Tom to Jen. And so that was the impetus that started me introducing him to the business community and the nonprofit community that I had connected with already. And it started exploding. We 10 times his revenue in the next 10 months, then tripled and doubled every year after that. And it's like, off to the races. So we're both plugged in now to chamber in Round Rock, chamber in Pflugerville, Cedar Park, all over the place. We make partnerships and talk to people on a regular basis every day. And I do want to do a quick shout out to Heather, because if Heather is so powerful, she does all of our logistics and all of our operations and makes sure the warehouse is ready to go. And that gives Tom and I the opportunity to be able to get out and do this. So we make this great team of 3. It's just awesome. So
it is. Oh my goodness. And and I love that you mentioned a great team of 3, because an organization at this, the things that you're doing, you would think, hey, a lot of people would get discouraged and say, I don't have enough, people. Where can I I need a larger team. But you guys are making it work with 3. That is beautiful. That is so beautiful. That means that you guys have a great plan in place, I believe.
Lots of volunteers.
Like we have great volunteers. You were there. Like I mean, all these people come to help with these packing parties. We have volunteers who deliver. We have a team of volunteers that help us plan events, and we drink a lot of coffee.
There you go.
I saw that when I was looking over your bio, and I was like, wow, this man is super talented. He's a songwriter, producer, recording artist, blogger, worship leader. And then I saw coffee enthusiast. I said, I have to ask him about that.
That's right.
Because I love coffee. Right. So I was like, I got to ask him.
Yeah, well, and I do too. One of the great things is I like how organic it is, how natural. Not just coffee itself, but just you think for thousands of years, people have slowed down to meet over coffee, to have a cup of coffee, to like to sit and to talk and to share their lives. And we're in such I feel like we live in fast forward so much, and it's hard for me to unplug. Diana knows I have a hard time unplugging. So it's nice to have that regular rhythm of just, hey, let's meet for coffee and let's not talk shop and just talk about our lives, or let's meet for coffee and talk shop and put our plans together. So I'm kind of a junkie.
Well, that's quite all right. I'm sure when you're talking, when you're drinking your coffee, I'm sure a lot of great ideas are coming to mind. Right. Yeah. Speaking of great ideas, man, your theme song, I got a chance to hear your theme song, Backpack Friends. You wrote that, right?
Yeah. So a funny story. It's like sometimes things just happen. Right. There's a saying, life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you.
For you.
Right.
Yes.
And you meet people and then you look back through the rearview mirror and you go, oh my gosh, this was for a reason. Right. Mm-hmm. So we met, we'll give Scotty Love a shout out. When we met this guy, a friend of a friend, Scotty Love, who I love like with my heart, super creative guy, musician, producer, chef, like he does all these things. And Diane and I were just talking about, we had this idea, man, we want a theme song. We want to like get these people to show up at our warehouse, you know, Beyonce and Costco, and like, I want it to be off the hook. And so Scotty says, hey, I know a guy who in South Austin who raps. We'll give Six Sense a shout out too. Let's call Six. So we spur the moment. We're out for dinner or something, and spur the moment, he calls up Six and says, hey, we got this idea for a song. Here's Tom and Diana, and here's Backpack Friends. They feed all these kids. So we go to his house, to his studio, I don't know, 8 o'clock or something that night, just show up, knock on the door, and start. He lays down a beat. I pick up a guitar and I start playing this riff. And I'll tell you a little secret. It's the riff to Little Red Corvette by Prince. I just slowed it down. And he put some funk to it. And Six starts rapping about kids being hungry. And we do about, I don't know, 5 or 6 takes. And then Diana and I start doing background vocals
and you know,
so it was magic, and it was so much fun.
Millie, because one of our bylines is heroes against hunger, and so we use superhero themes in a lot of the things we do. So it's a superhero is, you know, people can be superheroes. And
let's take a listen to it. So everyone can hear it. Okay, go.
I'm the backpack man, I'm your hero for hunger. 1,000 feet on the street, make it sound like thunder. Keep your belly full, help you focus and learn. Backpack friends on every corner you turn. You see Monday through Friday, the meals are covered. But when the weekend hits, the parents are flustered. Hit by life, resources run dry. Eyes to the sky, trying to find a way to get by. When you're faced with all these struggles and obstacles, makes you feel like life is impossible. But the backpack friends are here with a solution. Call us superheroes, it's time for distribution. We can do this on our own. This isn't about me or one person's home. It's about community, everyone coming together, unity. Cause we can do this on our own. We're your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We are backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. Fact. 1 out of every 4 kids in Texas does not have food to eat this weekend. Think about that for a moment. We at Backpack Friends are on our mission to eradicate weekend hunger. Imagine a community where no child is hungry. Imagine a community where everyone was inspired to be a superhero and lived that out. Imagine a community where everyone thrives together and lives for another. We're your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We are your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We are your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We are your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends. We're your backpack friends.
flashbacks.
Yes, I love that. Oh my gosh. And Diana, you know, you're so creative, you know, and that's why you cannot judge the book by the cover. I didn't know you sing.
Well, hey, we have a good time. We do. I have a music degree from Baylor, so.
Really? Oh my gosh. And Tom, what is your background? Your education background is?
So my education background is secondary ed. I taught English and speech communication, and then spent a lot of years doing student ministry and worship. And so my dad, I should have brought stuff. My dad was in a band before I was born, right out of the military. Toured around Memphis. Like, he played with lots of people. He played with like B.B. King and Ray Charles and some of those people. He actually cut a song in the 60s, 63, called RESPECT, which which Aretha cut, and it went nuts. So I say that to say music has always just kind of been part of our house. Like we've always just grown up with instruments and singing, and it's just kind of been that. So
that was
it was so much fun. Yeah.
I was going to say that was one of the first connections we had, because I had spent 25 years on a church staff. And so, just our connection through ministry and music and stuff was one of our first real connections. So,
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man, we had some people. I got distracted here because we got some comments here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah. Arias, he said, Baylor is a great school. And he said, shout out to the speech communication department.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then
Sick
Myra.
Bears.
Yeah. And one of my classmates, Myra Williams, said, awesome program. Yeah. So people are chiming in. We thank you guys so much. In case you're just joining us, we're talking to, of course, Tom Cotter. He's the founder of Backpack Friends right here in the Austin, Texas area. And of course, Diana Lindsay. She's got many titles, so I don't even know. I don't know what title I should say. But just a great, great team member of Backpack Friends. This has been such an honor to talk with you guys. So, they're still he said so many great, wonderful experiences at Baylor. But yes, Diana, as you were saying, before I kind of got carried away there with all the shout outs. Did you say? Okay. So a little question for you. I know having a successful nonprofit organization, requires a lot of hard work. So what is one of the biggest challenges you would say?
Well, gosh, there's so many things that go into building a strong business, and everybody that's done that knows it. It starts with leadership. We've already talked about the incredible leadership that we have. And then, of course, for us, building awareness. And Tom mentioned our team that helps us to do events that help us build awareness. And then we have, of course, all of our volunteers that help us on a weekly basis to deliver food and to pack bags, like we've talked about. Also to actually staff our events. A lot of times we'll need 100 plus people to staff an event. So we always want to throw the door open, to anyone to be able to help us in any of those areas. If you're interested in any of that part, just reach out. The door's wide open. We can always use volunteers in both the team and all of the other places.
Amazing. So if someone wanted to partner with you guys or become a sponsor or something, how would they, go about doing that? How could they, is there a form they fill out on your website or?
Yeah, everything is on backpackfriends.com. So I left that out intentionally because I knew the next question was heading toward that sponsorship, but we couldn't do it without our sponsors and partners. And we really do have just this really powerful philosophy towards our partners. We always want to give back more than we receive. And so we want a win-win situation, and we want to build long-term connections and partnerships. And we do that by just finding ways that we can give back. I'll give one little snippet of a story with Microsoft. I mean, what would you give to Microsoft? But they wanted in our school systems to bring their STEM program in, and we could make all the connections for them. So, we always look with whatever business we're working with to find a way to give back. Then another part of our philosophy with our sponsorships is that we run 100% model, which means 100 pennies of every dollar goes straight to food. And the way we're able to do that is by raising up a group of separate donors. It's called our Impactivist program. So when you click on backpackfriends.com, you'll see the information about Impactivist. And those are our advisory board. They give strictly to our little bit of overhead that we have. So that frees up all of our fundraising, all of our corporate donorship, and all of our events money to go straight 100 pennies out of every dollar to food. And then that allows us to just have this a solid integrity so that people want to partner with us. And the last thing I want to say is it's not just about companies, individuals. We have a thing going right now. Tom's famous for saying that, if you have 1,000 people and they give $10 a month, then that's $120,000 to feed kids. And so, whether you give $10 a month or more as an individual, we've got that campaign running. So really, whether you're an individual, a small business, a large corporation, it doesn't matter. Backpackfriends.com has all the place for that. And please invite Tom and I, if you want to sit down over a coffee, we've already talked about coffee, over the kitchen table, over a boardroom table, or in a big room to talk with people. We'll be glad to come out and share with you you more about our sponsorships or just work out a plan that would work together for you and your situation. So,
right. And then I found some pictures too when we were at Office Depot. My coworkers came out in December and we packed those bags with you guys. It's amazing. Yay.
yay.
And here's your of course, your banner. Love it. Love
That's
it.
great.
Now, this is a recent picture.
Yeah, that's our team.
That's your team.
Excellent.
Part of it.
Okay. And I know I see you and Tom there, but who are some of the others in the picture?
Yes. So right in the very center. Well, so you see me in the picture right behind me, in the blonde, short hair blonde is Alex Winters. Jessica Mossman in the middle is one of our board members. The guy right in front of the TV is Jay Hershey, and then Woody. We call him Woody. His name is Dale Woodkey, and then Diana. And that's kind of the core of our events team. We plan all of our big events, and we have fun, as you can probably tell. We have a good time.
Yes, yes. And look, here's some word. Look at that, 100,000 happy tummies. Congratulations! I love that. And then here's another great Cross Life. Oh, that's beautiful. The kids. That's a Christian Academy, right? Yeah.
So they just did that was this week.
It was
did a like their missions offering over a few weeks or a couple months, and surprised us and put on this program. A couple of different kids groups sang. Some little girl painted me a picture and gave it to me that morning. It was like it's in my desk. Just a sweet group. Really
it's a sweet group. Yeah. Now this group is another organization that helped you pack bags.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then this one, I had to slip this in. I love this picture.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I just had to get that in because you guys do such wonderful work, and more people need to know about it. Now, Tom, I found a clip of you when you were featured, I believe it was on KVUE, Pay It Forward. So I kind of want the audience just to hear a little bit more before we go.
For this month's Pay It Forward, we're introducing you to Tom Cutter. He's a man who bet on himself to make a real difference in the community by helping feed thousands of kids in need. And he does it in the Pflugerville, Round Rock, and Georgetown areas. Here's Anavid Reyes with his story.
It's been a real eye-opener. You know, we started with this girl who passed out, and then so Heather and I started feeding 12 kids down the street. After some investigation, they discovered that she just hadn't had anything to eat over the weekends.
This opened Tom's eyes and fueled his desire to create this organization. Backpack Friends now works hand in hand with just under a dozen schools, all in a year's time, bagging food and making sure students go home with it every weekend.
We moved from one campus to 2, and then to 4, and now to feeding 1,000 kids or so a month.
The beginning was certainly not easy. They went from supplying schools with food with his own resources to having big partnerships with companies like Dell, allowing Tom to expand his organization to now reach students in middle school.
Pretend you're a middle school student, right? And you need food for the weekend. So what you can do is we've got a program set up where you can get on your phone, go to a website, log in anonymously with your school ID number, and shop for food.
Daniel met Tom almost 2 years ago and tells me he's truly been inspired by everything Tom has done for his community.
Tom is one of the most motivated and individuals that seeks for a bigger change, right? And what a good leader is, I think, is someone that also is there on the front lines with you.
With the help of KVU and Charles Mon Toyota, together we want to award you with $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
To help you and your community. And it's just a way to say thank you for all the hard work that you've done. So I'm going to give you a hug.
Anavid Reyes, KVU News.
And if you know someone going above and beyond in your community, please nominate them at kvu.com/payitforward.
All right.
Wow.
That's amazing. Gosh.
And you should get the latest numbers, Tom.
Yeah, so that video takes me back. That was so sweet. They that was a total surprise that day. And like Diana said, in that video clip, I mentioned that we were feeding about 1,000 kids a month. We're feeding about 4,500 a month right now.
Right.
With COVID, with the pandemic, the economy, you know, all those things, like they all come together. And it has been like, I don't even have the words. It has been amazing to be part of this journey and to see, you know, it doesn't take a lot to get something done. It takes all of us doing just a little bit. We can do just a little bit, and we can create the world that we want to live in. We can create a community where every kid has an equal chance at a great future. We can do all those things just by doing a little bit. And we are having a ball making a change.
Making a change. Speaking of making a change, you guys have an event coming up in April, right? April 21st. Heroes Against Hunger.
Yeah, Heroes Against Hunger charity scramble. We do 2 big events in the year, and April 21st is our golf tournament at Forest Creek. It's a Friday. It's in Round Rock. All the proceeds go to buy food for kids. You can go to backpackfriends.com, and there's a golf tab. Just click on that golf tab, and I mean, of course, we need sponsors. We need players. Players are going to get lots of great swag and lots of goodies along the way. We've got some neat perks for our corporate sponsors.
Yep.
And volunteers for that. We also, Diana, you might want to tell them about our Golfinity partnership we have.
So one of our partners is actually donating to us the space that they would normally use for like $3,500. And we're going to be able to treat all of our golfers and all the sponsors to an event the week before. So they get a bonus perk of coming to network and tune up their swing and, you know, have a great time with us. So just a happy hour that's going to happen the Thursday before that event on the 13th. So we're real excited. You know, there's all kinds of things that we're able to do for sure.
That's for sure. Well, we're out of time, guys. We've had so much fun. I wish we could stay longer. It's been great just having you here. Congratulations again on all your success. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're talking with Tom Cotter and, of course, Diana Lindsay, Backpack Friends, Texas, and Austin area, of course. If you're in the area, look them up. I just put their phone number on the site. Let me put it here again on the screen. And then the email address, if you want to reach out to them through email, you can. Here's the phone number. And of course, here's the email address. All right, guys, we're out of time. And again, we thank you so much. We'll catch you next week. Don't miss it right here. Bring it in the house.